Alex here with Flower Seed Urban Gardens, doing the second video of the day. So hopefully you saw the first one, which we cleaned out the chicken coop and screened everything. We got our wheelbarrow full over here of some nice composted chicken manure, and we just actually went through. I've already spread this on. All I put in here was 4 of these large scoops. That's all it's really going to take, and so we're going to have plenty for the other beds. Some of the bigger chunky stuff that we didn't go through the screening, we're going to put that around the trees. We're expecting some rain, so the fruit trees will get a nice balance of fertilizer as well. And but this bed here, we pretty much got it cleaned out, and what we're going to be doing is what Native Americans used to call 3 sisters. And the 3 sisters work very well together. The first thing is we've got beans in here. Now these are green beans, but the bean can be any kind of bean, and you don't have to go out and buy any special seeds. Whatever favorite beans you have in the house that are dried beans, these are the seeds. This is all you need to plant. You don't need to soak them, but you could soak them if you wanted to. It'd help accelerate the germination. Just soak them overnight. You don't need to soak them 24 hours. 12 hours is going to be more than enough. So you're going to plant beans in there. Most of us know, but maybe you don't. Beans put nitrogen in the soil. And actually, they don't really put the nitrogen in the soil. The nitrogen forms as like these nodules on the root fibers. So that's the nitrogen that's going to be in the soil from pretty much any kind of beans that you use. And even if it's lentils that you like, you can plant the lentils as well. They'll do pretty much the same thing. Beans like to have something to grow on. What I did is we went through here, and the second sister is corn. We've put sweet corn in here. And so the corn's going to grow really fast. The corn is basically a developed grass that the Mayans started developing, and it is basically a grass. It's going to grow really fast. We'll be able to have the sweet corn. The corn really is a heavy nitrogen feeder. So the first sister, the bean, it's going to have the nitrogen for it. The second sister is going to grow tall. That's going to support the first sister, the beans, to have something to grow upon. And then the third sister is going to be some sort of squash or melon. And that is going to vine in here. We'll probably only put in like 3 different melon grouping of seeds. We'll do a little mounding. You don't want to put them in all at the same time. You want to sort of stagger them a week or so apart, so one will be able to grow. But the melon or the squash is going to be critical, because that's going to create ground cover that's going to help to hold moisture in the soil, and you're not going to need to water as much. So over in this bed here, let's go over here. Here what we've done is this bed's been prepped. We've added a little bit more of potting soil, compost. This is cocoa coir, which adds a great amount of water retention. So that's mixed in, and then we're going to go through again and just lightly sprinkle this on. You don't need to put a lot. Just lightly sprinkle that on. And that's about all we need to do. Now what we're going to be planting here is some tomatoes. Now we're going to plant more tomatoes than what we normally do. For those of you that know the layout of this garden, that's maybe been here for some of the classes or tours, I'm facing directly west. So this is the east to my back. North is right here. During the summer, this garden gets an immense amount of sun. We have a solar shade that we put over that's a luminette, which works really well. It's not necessary now, but my strategy is to get a little bit of shade on this garden. The second sister over there, the sweet corn, is going to grow, and it's going to catch shade in here early in the afternoon, which the tomatoes will really like. So we're going to do a variety of different tomatoes. What we've got here that I'm not quite pulling out yet is there is some really great celery in here. So this isn't, we've been consuming the celery. This is the last of it for the season because it's going to get way too hot for it. So we're going to leave this in, and we'll take that out in the next couple of weeks and eat it. But this is really tasty. It's got a lot of nice salts in it, so it's great, and all the hydration you get. It's great to be able to consume this while you're out here working in the garden. So we'll show you what we're going to be doing with the tomatoes and the spacing of them, and a couple of different options for caging or supporting your tomatoes. When you plant your tomatoes, you want to think about, again, don't plant too many of the same kind. You want to plant a different variety. If you're going to be wanting to make spaghetti sauces, any kind of tomato sauce, the primary one that is used for that is Roma tomatoes. They have less of the gel that's in the tomatoes, less seeds, with a lot more of the meat into it. That's what's commonly used. So we're going to be doing a little bit more of the Roma tomatoes. Also here for our heat, what really extends well and a nice little snack throughout the day is the yellow pear. For whatever reason, they seem to be more heat tolerant, and it does get intense here during the summer. So we'll get those pretty much all through the summer when they have a shade protection. That's what this structure's for. You know, I've got the pretty lights on it. The lights are also there for during the summer. I can come out early in the morning before the sun comes up, and I can start working in the garden without having to deal with as much of the heat. It's still going to be hot, but that's the sort of the strategy. So now you've seen the beds prepped, you know what this is and why it's here. We'll come back and show you planting the tomatoes and how we're going to cage them and some different options there. So this is Alex with Flower Street Urban Gardens. See you next time.